Hey everybody, welcome back to an Impromptu Truth. I'm your host James W. And I'd like to start off by saying thank you for everybody who's gone over to the channel, liked and subscribed. Please continue to do so. Today I'm joined by Tom. Tom has a very interesting story about something crossing the road in front of him. I've been trying to nail Tom down for weeks and weeks and weeks, but our schedules are always. He's a mechanic here at UPS. I'm a supervisor. And I got a second job, so they never melt. But we finally got a chance to get together. So, Tom, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Tom, at UPS, part-time entrepreneur. So I'm going to say probably about 15 years ago. Okay, it was a while back. Coming out of New Paltz, New York. All right, visiting family. It was late in the evening. I'm going to say 9, 10-ish. You know, I'm coming around a hairpin. If you're familiar with the 4455 coming out of New Paltz. Come around the hairpin, come down around the bend, and I see something off to the right. Okay. First, it looked like a bear. Okay, so I'm slowing down a little bit. Being a stick shift that I had, I was letting it coast. Right. And well, it wasn't a bear. It stood dead up straight. I'm gonna say 7 foot tall, quite slender, long arms. It jumped over the guardrail. I'm gonna say it took maybe 3 steps to make it to the other side. Well, as it passed, I was totally astonished. Right? I stopped immediately. No cars behind me. It was late at night. I whipped it back around. I shot my lights up into the woods where I saw it run. Okay, still trying to figure out what the heck this thing was. So I don't see nothing. I get a little spooked. I'm like, okay, if I can't see where it went, this thing could have doubled back and got behind me. I take off. I get home. Well, from where I was coming from with family, it was my sister and my brother-in-law. Well, I called them up and I told them. I was like, listen, I saw something. Can't tell you what it was or where it came from or what, but this thing jumped across the road. And it was the weirdest thing. Well, for slightly less than under 2 years, my family broke my chops.
Oh, you're allowed to curse on this channel.
Yeah. My family relentlessly broke my chops for almost 2 years. Every family get together, you see this, you see that, I'm seeing things.
Yeah.
So, probably about 2 years go by. I'm heading over to my sister's house again. I used to go over there frequently. So, I go over, and my sister's saying to my brother-in-law, he's like, are you going to tell him? Are you going to tell him? So I was like, tell me what? So
at this point, you're like, what do you have to tell me? Do I
so
have to get you up or something like that?
Right. What's happening here? So he goes, hey, listen. He goes, you've been giving him a lot of flack. Well, my other sister lives about 3 miles away from me, over in Napanock, New York. All right. They were coming from over there. Right. They were heading back over 4455. Okay. Continued.
So this seems like a notorious area.
Right. Well, it even gets. There's sightings today in Highland. You can look it up. People are seeing things there. They have it on camera. It's in the shadows. It's dark, but you can see it's a figure.
Yeah.
Almost similar to what this. It's tall. It's slender. Long arms. Not too hairy, but big mane on top.
Yeah.
Big matted mane on top. It looks squatted down. It looks like a bear. But when it stands upright and it runs like a man. Okay.
So let's get back to what I'm gonna backtrack to that part, but let's get back to what your brother-in-law
saw. So now they're coming. They're heading home towards New Paltz. They're going the back way, 4455, like through Gardner.
Yes.
Well, as you come past the mountain, there's a German restaurant there where 299 is, and probably about 2.5 miles past there, which is almost parallel to where I saw this 2 years prior.
Yeah.
This thing runs across the road. And my sister and brother-in-law both see it. They look at each other and was like, did you see that? Oh, they both saw it.
Like Tom wasn't full of shit.
Yeah, exactly what I explained. So I no longer got my balls broken. And then shortly thereafter, my brother-in-law, we would talk a little bit more. And he goes, they keep seeing it over. They keep seeing, people are seeing something in Highland. Trash is being disrupted. All kinds of other things. So there is something in that general area that's living there. It's about 7 foot tall. It's slender. okay? But it has extremely long arms because the arms almost come down to its kneecaps.
Now,
I remember that when it was running, it was swinging its arms.
do you remember what the leg shape was? Was it like
Just
they were like a human's legs, like
Yeah.
hip? They weren't like cocked back or anything like a dog or
Nope.
anything.
I didn't see any cock back. Then again, it all happened pretty quick.
Yeah, it was like a matter of seconds when you saw it.
But the ability that it had, its first leap made it almost to the double yellow.
Okay, and our average road sides are like what 20, 30, 25 feet or
Width-wise, I'm going to say 10 foot per lane. Okay?
Yeah.
So from the shoulder, its one aggressive stride was about 12 foot. 11, 12 foot.
Damn.
Okay? The first step was right before the yellow line. The second step was almost to the white line on the other side. And then it was one leap over and gone. I'm telling you, I backed up. I swung my high beams. I was trying to stick my flashlight in the woods. I grabbed the flashlight. I was looking in the woods. And then I started spooking because I didn't see anything.
So why? At that moment, you were like, "What the hell am I seeing?" What gave you that urge to be like, "I need to turn around and see. I need to turn around and see if I can see what the hell this thing is."
Because at first I thought it was a bear.
Okay.
But when it stood dead straight up, and I'm telling you, this thing's standing up.
Now it stood straight up on the side of the road before it took off?
No, it was off. I saw the shadow. I saw it move. Okay. And when I saw it move,
keep on.
It stood. I mean, it went from like a crouched position. I don't know if it was like doing something or whatever, or it crouched down, but it was down, and I saw it move, and all of a sudden I see it go dead straight up and leap in front of me.
Okay.
And then leaped again.
So, what kind of car were you driving? It was a 5-speed.
It was a Passat.
Okay.
It was a TDI Passat. It was an older one in the 90s.
And this thing towered over your car? Like, when it stood up, could you see its head?
That thing could have leaped over my car.
Damn.
That's how it was. Dude, it was like almost 2 foot behind the guardrail.
Okay.
And he jumped over the guardrail. And I'm trying to land it a foot or two behind. So that's a stride. That's going to be a 12-foot stride at least.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you have almost the lane, then you have the shoulder.
Yep. And then whatever grass
behind it was like right behind the guardrail.
Yeah.
And the reason why at first I don't think it knew I was coming at first, because I take it out of gear to save, I was economizing fuel.
Mm-hmm.
So it was so quiet coming around the bend, and I had momentum from the.
Yeah, so you're just tapping on your brakes just to get downhill and everything.
Right. So I was moving along pretty good. But as I came around, as the headlights hit it, that son of a bitch jumped up and took off. And took off quick.
Now, the side of the road that it went off to, what was that side of the road like? Was
mountains going up.
Oh, like hills.
Yeah.
Hill area.
I'm gonna say maybe a 20% grade.
Okay.
Rocky, very rocky, and it goes up. To, it peaks to the top of the mountain.
Yeah. And
then it goes off the other side, and it comes out on the other side of 4455. And it was almost parallel to where my brother-in-law. It's a swampy area.
Yeah.
Right there.
So as a crow flies, it would have been like straight.
Yeah, pretty much. So that's it. I'm going to say that's its path of travel.
Okay.
Whatever the hell this thing is.
Now, have you heard anybody else besides your brother-in-law and sister-in-law that maybe mentioned this? Like, I saw some weird shit sitting out in my backyard or something like that.
Just recently, it was within the past 6 months, somebody saw it in Highland. It was actually on my newsfeed. It was on this newsfeed. This is the one I use. The Newsbreak.
Okay, all right.
I use Newsbreak, and it was on Newsbreak and it said Highland, and it was like I identified, unidentified, and it actually was a woman. She was getting upset because she's in the back of her house, and her garbage and stuff's getting rustled around it, and explained the large, thin, blah blah blah. I sent that news feed to my brother-in-law.
So
I should have sent it to you.
Yeah, if you could find it. What was? Did your brother-in-law and your sister say what they were thinking as soon as that shit crossed the road in front of them? Did they say like, "What the fuck"? Like,
Well, they both looked at each other dead smack at the same time. They're like, "What the fuck was that?"
have you gotten shit since?
I have not gotten one bit of shit from them at all. Not a fucking thing.
That's fucking awesome.
They were like, they unexplained.
Now, did they get a better look at it than you did? Because you said you were coming down.
Well, they said it had a very froey hair, and distinctive things was the long, thin arms. It has long, thin arms. I'm talking arms where its arms, when it swings, the arms as it takes off, the arms swinging almost down to the kneecaps. So its arms are extremely long.
So what color is it?
But thin. Human-like,
No, what color was it? Like a flesh tone?
Yeah. Flesh.
Hold on. So the whole time you've been telling me the story, I've been thinking it's Bigfoot.
Right.
Dude, that sounds like a pale. There's a thing called a quote unquote rake, but they really call it a pale crawler, and it's skinny, flesh colored, and it has long gangly fucking arms. And like sometimes it's reported that they have names and everything like that.
It did have a name.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah, it did have a name. And a maney hair. That's why I thought it was a bear, because when I saw just like the shoulders, like the head.
Or so you thought it was maybe a bear that had lost its fur and shit?
No, I thought it was first. All I saw from the shoulder, it looked like a bear. I said, "Oh shit, it's a bear." So I started veering towards the shoulder, so I could put my headlights at it. Second, I put my headlights on it. It jumped up and took off, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
Dude, I thought you were talking about a fucking Bigfoot the whole time.
I thought it was Bigfoot. I don't know the difference, bro.
Nah, Bigfoots aren't fleshy toned. No. What the fuck? That sounds like I'm gonna have to look this up. That sounds like a pale crawler.
Really?
Yeah, it's a completely different cryptid. Oh shit! I thought it was a Bigfoot you were talking about the whole time.
7 foot tall.
And you said thin.
Yeah, it was thin. It wasn't massive. I mean,
was there like good muscle definition? And you said the arms and everything were
too dark. The two things that were distinctive to me was the maney hair. You could not see you couldn't get facial recognition because of the hair. Okay, because it had so much hair coming down, it didn't have that. It had hair, hair on its arms, shoulders. I mean, fucking bare ass, dude. Bare ass.
What the hell could that be?
I have no idea. I'm gonna say 7 foot range. And arms extremely long.
Now, how did it have? Could you make out hands?
He definitely had hands.
And how big would you say they were? They were. Did they kind of look like claws a little bit, or like big enough that they would seem like they would have claws?
The hands were not proportionally sized to the arms. The hands were bigger than the arms. I do remember that he was swinging them. He swings when he runs. And I'm telling you, my brother-in-law and my sister saw the same. They explained the same. The two of them saw it together, and they saw the same exact thing I did. Identical. Within, I would say, a 5 mile on the other side of the mountain. Where the direction it went in goes up over the mountain, and then comes down the other side.
And that's where they would have saw it.
And that's where they were. There's a farm over there.
So pretty much the area that it encompasses is in between those two roads. That's its like travel area. So it might have a den down there or something like that.
It's also been cited by the farm on 299.
Okay.
Right there, I think there's an apple farm there.
All right.
And that was a while back. That was when I was trying to state my case.
So how long? Do you know how long these reports have been coming out of that area?
I'm gonna say since
at least the early '90s.
Early '90s, yeah, early '90s. And something's still there because somebody just reported something in Highland in the past over this summer. Past 5 months, they just reported the woman. She was going after it, and she got it. She partially has it on camera.
I got.
She has a partial image on camera.
I'm gonna have to look this up. because
it looks human like. I thought it was a Bigfoot. That's what I thought it was.
Yeah, sorry,
What do you call it?
a pale crawler or a rake.
A pale crawler.
Yeah, that's what they're calling these things now in the cryptid community. Because nobody likes to call it the rake.
So what? I don't understand. So where do they originate from? Does anybody have an origination from, or did you just give me the name?
From what I can gather, a lot of these things are based out of cave systems.
Okay.
And they come off.
There's a ton of caves up there.
Yeah, they come out of cave systems. But I've never heard of one with a name on it. But then again, this is our area. This is the Hudson Valley. The Hudson Valley fucking crazy with this stuff.
See, unless it had something over its head. I mean, I don't know. But it definitely looked like down when it was crouched down. At first, it looked like the head of a bear until it stood up, and I was like, "Oh shit!" I said, "What the fuck?" I thought it was a person. When we went across the road, I was like, the way that thing leaped and jumped across the road and disappeared. I was like, "That's not a person. No human. I don't Shaq, Kobe, none of them motherfuckers could jump like that. I don't give a shit who it was."
Now, when it took that leap from the side of the road, right? You know how tall the facade is on the
yeah.
How high was that leap from the side of the road behind the guardrail to where it landed? And how high would you say that it cleared?
Was it about 4.5 feet?
Yeah,
about 4.5 feet.
All in the air, didn't it?
Yeah. 12. And it swung its arm like an athlete.
It was swinging its arm in the air when it like took off. Right.
When it took off, it swung and it was like didn't want to,
like was it like
rotating the arms?
Was its posture or gait when it took off running like leaning forward?
Yes.
Was it standing? Oh, okay. So it took like it was taking off on like a dead sprint.
Yeah.
And it went.
When I shot my headlights dead at it, it probably thought I didn't see it, but I have actually excellent eyesight.
Yeah.
But being that I was unfamiliar and what I just didn't.
It took a second to register.
Oh, it took a second. And when it registered, I looked in my mirror, make sure there's nobody behind me. I flew in reverse. I spun my car around sideways.
So there's no cars in front of you, no cars behind you,
there was nothing else on the road. It was just me. Matter of fact, maybe I passed one car when I came over the overlook on the other side of the mountain, past the entrance to the park.
So that thing might have been sitting there when that car came through there, and just that right. Wasn't exactly there. They didn't see it, so it didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I pointed my headlights at because I'm always looking for deer over there.
Okay. Yeah.
I got some big deer. I don't hunt too much anymore, but I like to look.
Well, after this shit, I wouldn't be in the woods hunting.
No. When I go in the woods, I have a place up in Hancock that I go to.
Yeah.
And when I'm up in the woods there, I actually I arm myself because of that experience, and I'm not gonna lie. When the sun starts going down,
Tom Collins, Ken Gopal's office, please. Tom Collins, Ken Gopal's office, please.
I start getting nervous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I gotta get back.
Like get the being watched feeling.
Yeah. Well, you know what I mean. I just don't want to. What I saw there, it doesn't mean there's no. I'm telling you right now, that's not the only thing. That's not the only one out there. There's one. There's got to be more than one. I don't know what it is. Stands like a human, but don't look like a human. And tall and lean.
I'm gonna have to contact my guy about this one. Yeah, I see the whole time I'm thinking about it. I thought you're telling me like a Bigfoot, or maybe like one of these quote unquote dogman creatures were crossing in front of you. I didn't. Oh shit.
That's a possibility.
You know, I'm gonna have to talk to my guy Walt about this. Damn, that's pretty damn interesting.
You can identify it. And there's some. I'll try to find the thing I sent my.
So your brother-in-law?
Yeah.
Okay. So, damn, that's a hell of an experience. And you had it confirmed by your brother-in-law and sister 2 years later.
Oh, I too.
So when they confirmed it for you, how big was that smile on your face?
Oh man. I'm known for being a jokester.
Yeah.
So they had to give it back to me. And I'm telling you, I got to the point, I'm not gonna lie, I was getting annoyed. I'm like, dude, I know I saw something. I know it wasn't anything I ever saw before. Okay?
Yeah.
That's like all these guys were giving me, some of these drivers were giving me a bunch of crap because I told them I saw a mountain lion up by Hancock on the other side of the mountain.
Yeah.
And I saw it. I saw it actually in the distance.
Okay.
I was trying to get a picture of it. So, and I was telling these guys over here, some of these drivers, and like, there's no mountain lion, blah, blah, blah. And meanwhile, the one driver, Emerson, that retired,
yeah,
he had it on his, cam.
On his game cam?
Yeah, it was on game cam. He had a picture of it with the long tail and everything. So I told them I saw it, and they were like,
it's funny how when you try to tell somebody something, they think you're full of shit, but then you got another person like, oh, he's got the evidence right here.
The thing is, as I'm getting older, my eyesight's not as keen as it used to be.
Yeah.
But up until a couple of years ago, my eyesight, my son has it too. I can see things in the distance. I catch things out of the corner of my eye. I have actually impeccable eyesight.
Yeah.
You know.
Right. So, any other weird stuff?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. From the weird show. But that is one thing unexplainable. And to this day, I still, when I go in the woods, I think about it.
Now, when you're in the woods, you get creeped out, or?
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes I get creeped out to the point, if I'm alone in the woods, I creeped out, I start heading back. If I hear something in the woods that I can't explain or whatever.
Like, have you heard, like, tree knocks and, like, branches breaking off shit like that? And this is up near the Hancock area. And that's all. That's a.
I went up. Yeah, I went up by Boucherville over there.
Okay.
I was up on the mountain.
Yeah.
You know, and I was actually trying to find where the rattlesnake dens were.
Okay.
Like, I just wanted to know where they were, parallel to my property. You know. Mm-hmm. So I was up there. I heard some cracking, and when I turned around and looked, I didn't see nothing. And I'm like,
did it sound close?
It was pretty close, and it cracked some branches pretty hard. And to this day, man, I ain't kidding you. I'm like, okay, I don't see nothing. And all I think is how fast that thing moved, and I couldn't spot it. I'm telling you, I backed up in a second. I didn't see nothing. So it's it's very deceptive. It's very, it knows how to put itself into it.
Yeah.
That's its habitat, man. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, us going out there is no match for this thing who's out there 24 hours a day.
So, and where this is in Hancock, it's right by the Pennsylvania border. And there's a lot of weird shit because they see Bigfoots in Pennsylvania.
Oh, there's a huge sightings map for that dogman creature that's over here. Did you know last month, a gentleman was out. There was a video posted about a guy who saw a dogman creature fall out of a tree, like it did the whole like Superman thing. He said the witness said that he was out video recording, and he heard like a large thump coming out of a pine tree. Now, you know how underneath pine trees, everything's dry and dead like that. He said he saw the plume of smoke, and he turned his camera over there, and you could see something gray shoot across the camera. So I contacted the gentleman who posted the video, things like Jeff Naldoni, he posts witness accounts, and I was like, hey, Jeff, where's this witness located? Because I'm in Sullivan County. Because Jeff is a little bit further upstate, and we're in Sullivan County. I was like, where's the witness located? He said Orange County. I'm like, oh, really? You caught this in Orange County? My next assumption is it's near the PA border, down near down 42, down that way.
The other distinctive things, not only the hands like large for the arms, like they were proportioned, feet were very broad and big. He had big feet.
Okay. And
very broad feet. I didn't have the balls to get out and look for footprints or anything. I wanted to. Not too much of a chicken shit. I just didn't know anything to jump like that. It's like, okay, this thing is.
You didn't want to take the risk and take that shit lunges.
This thing is 5 times more athletic than I am.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in good shape, but I'm not athletic like that anymore. I'm kind of, I don't work out that much, you know. So I'm like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's aggressive or not aggressive. I didn't know. But I wanted to get out and look for footprints.
Yeah.
I went up there the next day. I went the next day to look. It was on a Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
So I went there the next day in the morning. I was looking around and stuff. I didn't see much. I actually walked up the mountain a little bit, but I was spooked, man. I was still spooked.
I would have been too. It happened only a few hours before.
I'm telling you, I walked maybe. How far is it from here to the road? Right here. What would you say that is? Right from where we are to the road.
maybe 40, 50 yards.
That's it. And I looked around a little bit, and I'm like, you know what?
Is it not worth it?
I was like, as athletic, this thing could be up in a tree, jump down, and take me out in a second. I'm like, oh, fuck this. I don't know. You know what I mean? Put it this way, the way it ran, it didn't want to be seen. So I don't want to corner it. I don't want to have anything that athletic. I'm okay. Especially without a firearm on my side.
Oh yeah, because you definitely weren't carrying it.
No.
Because you were on your way back from your family's house, so you wouldn't really carry it.
The only time I is when I'm going through the woods and stuff, and I make sure I do because
You carry rifle or handgun.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, man.
Usually shotgun.
Put slugs in it.
Slugs. I do slugs and I do shot. I do 1 for 1.
Nice.
Five in the in the hole and one in the chambers. I do 6, but I stagger them. I do one slug, one pellet. The first one I do a pellet. The second one I do a slug. The first one's a warning shot. Get the fuck away from me.
Ouch.
And I'm telling you, I've been doing that ever since I saw that thing because I can't explain it.
And this is 15 years ago.
I'm gonna say about 15 years ago. All right, let's go back. I'm gonna say 2010. So what is that?
That's 11.
11 years ago. I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem.
2010.
And
I got rid of that car in 2010.
And it's like you can remember it like it happened yesterday.
Yes.
Damn.
Because I can't. With me, I like to have, I like to know. It's my mechanical code.
Yeah.
Being a mechanic, I gotta have an answer for the problem. And I looked at that. I had no answer. I've never seen nothing like it. I looked up pictures and shit. I can't see nothing. It does look like I've never seen a Bigfoot, but I'm telling you, man, it was close enough to be like a Bigfoot. Maybe it was a baby Bigfoot. I don't fucking know. That thing.
Baby Bigfoots don't get to be 7 feet. And when they get to 7 feet, they're wide.
That thing took a leap. It had to be 10, 12 feet. Okay, about 4.5 feet high. 1 leap.
So how
tapped the ground, hit the shoulder on the other side, and was like over the rail and gone. I broke my neck trying to look back. I was like, what the hell? And then I looked in my mirror. I whale that shit in reverse. And I fucking flew backwards. I did not see that thing.
How could you tell? How wide did the shoulders look? Could you make out like how?
Dude, he was
so
parallel. He wasn't face to face.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
a little bit wider than a normal human.
I would say so. Yeah. Okay. Head was large, but had a lot of hair. The hair was meaning. And it was in front of his face.
What the hell could that have been?
He kept his head forward the whole time. It was definitely. It was big. I'm gonna say 7 footers. I call my brother now sometimes. I ask him, I was like, dude, you ever seen the after? He goes, no. He goes, I ain't telling nobody either. My brother, he don't want to.
Well,
that's me, bro.
Listen, if you can ever convince your brother-in-law to come on the show, and listen, I have voice changers, all that. Put it to be anonymous, or he could just write it out. Or they could just write it out and I'll read it on air or something like that. Because I'd love to get their sighting report.
I'll chat with her over the weekend.
Because that would be awesome.
Yeah, I'll chat with her over the weekend. But and my sister, she's a hiker.
Oh, she still hikes after this?
Oh yeah, she goes the Adirondack. She goes everywhere. She's in Colorado right now.
So my question is, has she ever seen anything weird happen hiking the Adirondack?
That was the only she ever seen.
Really?
But the thing is, what is perplexing was perplexing to her and him was the description I gave was the identical description to what this thing was. I mean, almost identical. I was more detailed back then because I remember more about it.
Yeah.
But
it was still so fresh.
It was fresh. So they're like, that is not a coincidence. It's impossible to be a coincidence.
Yeah.
And believe me, My brother-in-law is the last guy to even admit something like that. If my brother-in-law saw a ghost, he would tell you, "No, that's not a ghost."
Like, I didn't see that shit.
No, I didn't see that. That's he's very he's low key.
He doesn't play. He won't play into that.
Hell no. Something that's not in the norm. He doesn't even want to believe it's happening. That's just the way he is. He's a little square that way.
Okay.
He doesn't have an open mind to it. But I'll tell you what, the both of them saw it, and he didn't want to admit it to me.
Like, it really took some goading for even your sister to, like, yo, tell him what you saw. And
because when I got to their house that time, they told me. I got there, and I'm like, I was getting to the point. I'm like, listen, I says, because my brother, when I show up at the house, goes, see anything on the way over? I'm like, no, I didn't see anything on the way over, but I do look.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I almost drove my bike off the road one day because I thought I saw something, but it was just a shadow. It was getting dark out.
Yeah.
And in this similar area, I was coming around the bend there. I saw something up on the side of the mountain. I about broke my neck to look. I was on my bike. You know?
Yeah.
I was coming around. I hit the shoulder. I was so bent over looking, but I realized it was a shadow. I actually turned around and looked.
Yeah.
But it was just a shadow. That's all it was.
I've been doing the same thing ever since 2015 when I saw that shit when I was coming up the road here down by Noni's here. Something with safety vest, green eyes, wide shoulders, stepped off the side of the road when my car was coming up. And I came here, told everybody was like, "Oh, you're full of shit." I refused to go outside that whole morning until it got light out because it's just like a mile away. Called my brother up, told him, he convinced me to come back to this area. So we roll up here. I tell him I'm not getting out of the car. He's like, all right. He walks across the street, starts calling my name. Jay, get out here. What? Come here. I walk over there and there's a footprint about that fucking big in the grass, right where this thing stepped off. I was like, get in the car, we're leaving right now.
Oh, this thing I have at least size of huge. I'm telling you, it's full gotta be this big.
Like Shaq size.
Yeah, they were wide. Barefoot, motherfucker.
Long
Like
long and wide.
It was wide, yeah. The front of the foot was wide. I couldn't count toes or nothing, but it had large feet. I'm telling you, 15, 16 shoe at least.
What the hell could that thing be?
And athletic. Very athletic.
Like, would you say it was like a runner's build?
I couldn't tell muscle definition, but it was definitely had the ability to, so I wouldn't want to see the motherfucker climb a tree.
So like a runner's build almost, or like a swimmer's build.
I'm telling
just
you right
fucking
now,
lanky.
the way it was built, it could climb up the side of a tree in 5 minutes. Up to the top of like one of the big trees you see out the window.
Climb that thing in 5 seconds?
Because the way its feet were built, it wrapped their feet right around that thing and fucking leave them.
What the fuck is this thing?
I used to like to climb trees when I was a kid, and that's how I used to be able to climb so good. I used to lock my legs in, my feet in.
Yeah.
I used to push off my feet. You know what I mean? And that's how so I wasn't really using my upper body. I was using most of my lower body. Mm-hmm. And when you have feet that strong and you can jump, that's strong legs.
Yeah.
That's what making me nervous. As I was walking the next day, I just went back and looked. Mm-hmm. I was so pissed off because I saw now I'm gonna get my balls broke because I said something. So I was trying to get something to get a picture, something, anything.
Like looking for some clarification, like this is what I saw here. I have a fucking picture of this.
So I got about 30, 40 yards in, right? 30, 40 yards in, and I just started looking up in the trees, like, this motherfucker probably climbing trees like a chair. You know? I was like, all right, this ain't cool.
And you just had to get the hell out of there?
Yeah, I was getting nervous.
I don't blame you.
I just know that if I had a confrontation, I don't think I would.
You weren't prepared for it.
On my best day, I don't think I'd be prepared for it. Too athletic, too. Its physical ability, I don't think I could physically ever take something like that. I think I'd just get my ass beat to death.
What the hell could that thing?
Too swift. I called it a Bigfoot because I saw a Bigfoot. When I called my brother last night, I think I just saw a Bigfoot. I ain't gonna lie. He was cracking up like he was the biggest joke. He goes, "Come on!" I was like, "I saw something. I'm telling you." Like when I saw the mountain lion up there.
Yeah.
I was a little standoffish telling anybody, but I was talking to Greg when we were working on Peters. So I'm telling you, this mountain lion up there, I saw one up on the pipeline.
Okay.
The pipeline that goes through Hancock into Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Yeah. I I saw one up there. I know you're not supposed to be on the pipeline, but I was just riding one day.
Yeah.
I leave early in the morning. I go out and I try to be back before dark. I'll camp out. I keep a fire. I'll tell you what, they shoot the fucking gun right in my fucking head. Listen, I ain't gonna lie. I slept out. You keep waking up. You hear a noise, keep waking up. You shine the light,
and there's nothing there.
and I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if I did see something like that.
Well, I got I'm supposed to be doing another interview with one of my friends. He was out camping near between Kerhonkson and Grahamsville, I think it is. And he was out camping one night out by himself, and he heard some footsteps or something come. He heard some weird shit outside of his tent, so he popped out with his flashlight and his gun. He carries two, and he starts scanning the area, and he sees this black shadow figure thing standing on the other side of the creek with like 1 foot in the creek, 1 foot on the ground. And he starts doing the whole like, I'm not here to hurt anybody, I'm not here to mess with you or anything, I'm just gonna go back in my tent, go to sleep. And he said when he went back in his tent, he heard the thing walk up the side of the hill away from him. He woke up the next morning and went and looked in the area, and he did see tracks and like drag marks going back up that hill. So there's a lot of yeah.
This had a dark brown hair. It wasn't black hair.
Dark brown?
Yeah. On its back, unless it had a belt on its back. I don't know. But it had like a dark brown hair on it. There was hair on the arms, but not like it wasn't fur. It was like it wasn't fur. It was not fur. It was hair. It was like human-like hair. It was not a fucking human. No way. It was not human. There's no way he was human. There's no way.
I'm completely bumfuzzled by this.
I says he's Bigfoot or a Martian. I ain't kid you. Some fucking freaked out Martian like I fucking left behind, or Bigfoot. That's what I said. I wouldn't go up there hiking.
No.
Nope.
I don't blame you. I wouldn't go in that fucking area either.
My friends asked me all the time, "Oh, you want to go up there?" I was like, "I ain't going nowhere near that stuff." My family asked me, "Want to go up there?" I said, "No, I'm not going." What I saw, I don't give a shit. I'm not going hiking anywhere. I'm not gonna do a day hike or whatever where there's like a lot of people and stuff.
But if it's like getting close to dark, you don't no
parts of it. And like you said with the caves, I don't go nowhere near the caves because I know there's things I'd be living up in those caves somewhere.
It's gotta be. All right. Well, I think thank you, Tom, for coming on the show, man. I really appreciate it. I hear your phone.
I'm glad we got to do this.
I've been trying to get this on for weeks, man. I love this shit. But thank you again for coming on the show, man. I really appreciate it.
If I get any more confirmation, I'll talk to my sister during the week. I'll see.
Even if she I can send her an email and we could do like a video chat and stuff like that, and she could do it right off her phone. So cool. You know what I mean? So definitely, I would appreciate that, and thank you again for coming on the show, man.
All right. Anytime.
Thank you, everybody. Well, this has been an impromptu interview number 8. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much.